Hey everyone, today I'm doing a video I'm really excited about, and that is a Drugstore makeup starter kit. I've done a full face of makeup, I'm actually wearing it right now, but obviously you don't need to buy every single product that I'm going to talk about. You might only want to wear the concealer, the mascara, maybe the eyebrow pencil, and then call it a day. That's absolutely fine. I've got all the products in this little Primark makeup bag and I can't wait to get started. I'm going to start out with this Instagirl Perfecting Stick from Primark. You don't have to use primer, you might just put some moisturiser on and then be done with it. But personally, I really like primer. I find that it just makes my makeup last a little bit longer, and it also provides a smoother surface to put my foundation on. And after I've rubbed it on my face, I'm just going to smooth it all out with my fingers. The next two products are also from Primark. I genuinely use these every single time I do my makeup. They're the CC Colour Correcting Sticks. First I take the orange one and I just put that underneath my eyes, and that just counteracts any blue tones. And then I take the green one and I just draw that on any areas of redness on my face. And then again I start blending it with my finger, or you can use a damp makeup sponge as well, whatever you prefer. And now my skin is ready for foundation. If you're a makeup beginner, you might actually prefer something like a BB cream or a tinted moisturiser, just something that's a bit more sheer. But personally, my skin is quite uneven, so I definitely need that extra bit of coverage from a foundation, and I really struggle to find BB creams that are actually pale enough for me. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Dream Satin Foundation in the shade 2 Fair Beige. I've been talking about this a lot on my channel recently, and I actually have a dedicated review as well. I'll leave the link to that video in the description box if you're interested. So I'm going to take about a pump and then just dot it on my face, starting on the areas that are a little bit more red. And then I'm going to blend it all in using this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I highly recommend Real Techniques brushes, I love all of them. And I'm just bouncing that foundation with the brush and just swirling and buffing it in. And then if there are still any areas of redness showing, I'll just take the brush directly into the product and just dab it where I need it. Now, foundation will even out your skin really nicely, but it's not always going to cover every single thing. You might still be able to see some darkness under your eyes, or some blemishes poking through as well, or even some areas of hyperpigmentation, and that's when concealer comes in. So I really like this one from 17. I actually use this in a lot of my tutorials, so you know that this is something I genuinely love. This is their Stay Time Concealer in the shade Extra Fair. First of all, there aren't that many concealers that actually match me, but this one does really well. Secondly, it's very high coverage, but it's also a really nice creamy texture and really easy to work with. So I just dot the product anywhere I need it, and then I blend it in using a mix of my finger and the Real Techniques setting brush. If you're like me and you have really intense breakouts, you can still see mine on my chin now, I would definitely recommend the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. This is the only thing that covers all my spots. I use it quite sparingly and just in very small areas because it does oxidize a little bit on me, but it really works. So I just take a bit of this on the back of my hand, and then just using my finger, I try and apply a small amount as possible where I need it. So now my base is looking a lot more perfected and evened out, so I'm just going to set everything with powder. Today I'm going to be using this Stargazer pressed powder, and my shade is Natural Shimmer. Now this product might be a little bit harder to get hold of, you can't get it in Boots and Superdrug. I got mine from eBay and it was less than £4, so it's not expensive. So I'm just using this Real Techniques contour brush to add powder where I need it. So I'm just putting it everywhere where I've put concealer, just to set it in place. You don't have to use a brush for this, it does actually come with a little puff applicator thingamabob that you can use instead. So now that I've put on my powder, I can apply my blusher, my bronzer and my contour and my highlight. I'm not actually going to be using a contour product for this look because I don't think you need to contour if you're a beginner to makeup. I don't think it's entirely necessary, and if I'm honest, it's not something that I do every single day anyway. I usually either bronze or I contour. I don't tend to do both. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze Bronzer. You can see mine is completely battered because I use this all the time. I'm going to be using another Real Techniques brush for this. This is the Duo Fiber Face Brush. So I use bronzer a little bit differently to most people because I'm so pale. I just use it to sort of sculpt my face. So I start out by just dabbing it in the product. I don't get loads and loads of product on this brush. And then I start out just by doing a number 3 on my face. So if you just imagine that you're doing a number 3, and then the middle of it is just where your cheekbones are, and then the end is just along your jawline. And then make sure as you go along that you keep kind of buffing it out. So I'm applying a little bit more product just by the edge of my face, and then I just build it up as required. I think it's much better to just start off with a really small amount and just build up as much as you think you need instead of going with a load of product at once. This method of using bronzer is so much easier than contouring, and I'll probably do this on an everyday basis more than I'll contour because it's a lot more forgiving. It's a lot quicker as well. You can kind of just throw everything on and then you kind of know that it will come together. I'm actually really happy with how that's turned out, but if you did think that you've gone overboard with it, just take your foundation brush and just dab it around the edges, and this will kind of just blend it in a bit more. And I'm going to add a little bit of blush. I absolutely love this one from Natural Collection. Mine is in the shade Pink Cloud. These are only $1.99, so they're a great price for beginners, but also I just really like the product itself. So I'm taking another Real Techniques brush. This is their blusher one. And I just, again, I dab. I don't swirl and get loads of product because I am so pale. So I just kind of start out somewhere on the apples of my cheek. And I make a very strange face just to make the apples of my cheeks stick out a bit more, like this. And then I just kind of dab it in an upwards motion. And I start out by stippling it, just so that I don't disturb the foundation and concealer underneath. But then once it's on, that's when I start to just buff and swirl. And again, you just build this up to your desired result. And if you do go a bit overboard, you can just go in with your foundation brush. So now it's time for the fun bit, which is highlighter. At the moment, I'm absolutely obsessed with this highlighter from Technic. This was less than £3. Again, it was from eBay, but I believe they have Technic in some body care stores. You can also get it on Amazon as well. I got mine from eBay. Either way, it's a very affordable highlighter, and the reason I love this so much is because it's not too glittery. This is more of a natural sheen. So I'm using another Real Techniques Duo Fiber brush for this. This is the contour one that also comes in the same set, and I am just going to swirl it in and just apply some to the high points of my cheeks as well as below and above my eyebrows and on my forehead and down the centre of my nose. I'm going to move on to my eyes now, and first of all I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Colour Tattoo. This is in the shade Creme de Rose. I absolutely love these. I think they're about £5, but Maybelline is always on special offer somewhere. So they're always on buy one get one half price or 3 for 2 or something in one of the drugstores. It's just this matte kind of pink taupe colour, and it's a great base for eyeshadow. And I find that when I put powder products on top, they just last a little bit longer. So I just use my finger for this, and then I just dab it on my eye. I'm going to go in with some eyeshadow now, and I'm going to be using this little palette from Collection. This is one of their Eyes Uncovered palettes, and this is in the nude shade. You actually don't have to use eyeshadow. You can just use the bronzer and the blush and the highlight that I used earlier over your eyelids. Powder is powder. You can use it anywhere on your face. It doesn't really matter. But I wanted to show you this eyeshadow palette because I think it's about £4. but it's really, really good for beginners. It's just got some really basic neutral shades in there that I think would suit pretty much everyone. So I'm not going to use too many colours. I'm just going to start out with this one here. This is a really nice mid-brown shade. I'm just going to wash that really lightly all over the lid and up past the crease as well, and just keep blending it until it looks really soft and there aren't any harsh lines. I'm also taking that shade on my lower lash line. I'm definitely not an eyeliner expert, but I do like to line my lashes with a little bit of brown pencil, and I'm using this one from Barry M at the moment. This is their super soft eye crayon in shade number 2, and I just put this on the outer third of my eye really roughly and then blend it in with my finger. And then once I've got that rough line on, I'll just set it in place by going in with the darkest shade in the collection palette on a really slim precision brush, and then I'll just feather that shadow along my lash line. This is a really nice and easy way to define your eyes if you have zero eyeliner skills like me. So just to finish off the eyeshadow, I'm going to take the same highlighter that I was using all over my face before and a really small highlighter brush, and just pop this right in the inner corner of my eye. I just think it's a really nice finishing touch. Then I just like to take a touch of it and just pat it on the inner part of my lid as well. And then I'm just going to use my Primark eyelash curlers and just curl my eyelashes before I go in with mascara. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara because it's my absolute favourite. But if you are on a really tight budget, I do love mascaras from Essence and Primark as well. I just don't have any open at the moment. So I really need to draw on some eyebrows to bring this whole look together. So I'm going to be using the Rimmel eyebrow pencil, and my shade is Hazel. I have used this in a lot of my videos. In fact, possibly all of my makeup tutorials feature this because I love it so much. It's $2.99, but it does a wonderful job. I just use really soft strokes to draw in some hairs. The lid also has a brush built into it, so I can just use that to blend everything together. Now, the eyebrow pencil might be enough for you if you have better eyebrows than I do, but because mine are so naturally sparse, I usually set them with a tinted brow gel. That kind of just plumps them up a little bit more. So at the moment I'm using this W71 in the shade light medium. I think this was about £2.50 from eBay, and I really love it. The brush is just the right size and it doesn't pick up too much excess product on it. So to finish off the look, I have a couple of different lip options for you. First of all, you could just go in with a clear lip balm. If you don't want any colour on your lips at all, that is absolutely fine. I used to do that all the time when I first started with makeup, but if you want to wear an actual lipstick, I really, really like the ones from Essence. They're usually less than £3 and I just love all of them. They're really good. At the moment I've been using this one from their Colour and Care range. The shade of this is actually rubbed off because I've had it for a while now, but it's this beautiful everyday kind of colour. As you can see, it's kind of a mid pink coral-ish colour. It would suit a lot of different skin tones. So I'm going to go for the lipstick today because this is my favourite lip option at the moment. I'm wearing this all the time. And this is the finished look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this and found it helpful. As I said before, you don't have to use every single product that I've mentioned in this video, but hopefully you found one or two things that you like the look of and maybe want to try out. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you're new. I make new videos every Sunday at 9 AM. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!